Honestly, I kinda wish we didn't get that official trailer because the teaser was enough to get me in, but that official one kinda spoiled a lot. And it's not like I wanted to watch the trailer, it's just all over the theaters. You know, whenever a movie gets close, they're gonna start putting in all the trailers that's out there for it.
Are you breaking up with me?
It's not you. It's me.
I gotta say, the premise and concept of this film is way more horrifying than the actual movie itself because I found it to be kind of underwhelming? I've been using that word a lot, I know, but I'm just being honest here that a lot of movies just don't know how to properly end. They don't know how to properly wrap up with that third act. For most folks, it's probably gonna be totally fine with y'all, but for me, after a night's rest and really thinking about it, it's okay. We follow Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher, a young couple currently on vacation with a group of friends. Well, it was a nice little weekend getaway until things got violent and bloody when one of the androids that they have goes crazy. And if you've seen the trailer, you know that the android that goes haywire is Sophie Thatcher. Maybe within the next 5 to 10 years, AI will reach the level of consciousness that is portrayed in this movie, and then maybe another 10 to 20 years until we're able to create human-like bodies for them, you know? Because like I said in the beginning, it's really the concept of this movie that is fucking horrifying. What people will use these kind of bots for, that's the real scary part, which might be a little spoiler territory for y'all who haven't seen it yet, but for those who have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because Sophie Thatcher as an android, albeit a terrifyingly believable concept, isn't exactly the true horror that's going on. Without getting to any spoilers here, it's really Jack Quaid and his friends that are what you should be looking out for. What's the production like? Well, I can tell you that it looks real fucking good, especially the cinematography here. A lot of fun stuff. The sound effects, the music, it's all meshed together pretty well to create this sort of creepy atmosphere with a lot of the characters. I can't say this movie does anything super spectacular where it's like extremely memorable, but it gets the job done. It's a good looking movie. The performances, everyone here is doing a great job, especially Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher, who are of course the stars of this movie. They are amazing with what they're given to work with here, and it shows. I mean, holy shit. Sophie Thatcher, wow. Great job. And all y'all annoying ass motherfuckers that keep making fun of my man Jack Quaid just because he portrays Huey from The Boys, y'all can piss right off. Seriously guys, we really need to start separating the actor from the character, alright? I mean, Jack Quaid is a good looking guy. I mean, he managed to bag Claudia Dumit, or Dumay, I don't know how the fuck you pronounce her name, but the actress for Victoria Newman from The Boys. Anyways, as the story progresses and we learn more about the actual plot, the twists and turns here are a whole lot of fun. We learn more about Sophie Thatcher and how she functions as a droid, and really it does add to the overall world building here, how this entire world functions with the existence of androids. It's really cool and were by far my favorite parts of this movie because I'm very much interested in seeing how it reflects to real life. I can't really go into more detail about the plot or characters because like I said, there are a lot of twists and turns that happen all throughout this movie that would just ruin it for you, that would spoil it. So I'm giving a lot of broad strokes here to give you an idea, explain to you how I feel about this movie, and maybe you'll give it a chance. So yeah, I think this movie is worth your time, especially since the concept is not too far from reality, at least the AI part of things. Not yet the whole body thing, but we're getting there. Because I was not at all expecting this movie to take this twist of events, and it opened my eyes to a whole world of holy shit. You know, when we really do achieve AI with real bodies for them, that shit gonna get crazy. My only issues with this movie is the ending, really, the third act, because it didn't seem like they knew how to properly wrap things up like I said. One thing that's revealed halfway into the movie just didn't really work with me, didn't make much sense at all. And some characters that enter the scene in Act 3 say some stuff and I'm just like, why say anything like that? I don't know, but there are definitely some themes about women leaving their toxic exes behind, and maybe there's even a metaphor about abortion somewhere here that I'm not 100% too sure on. The metaphor. I'm not talking about abortion rights, okay? That is none of my business. Overall, I thought this movie was a lot of fun and really opens up a whole new avenue of how to portray AI and the usage of it. It gets kind of ridiculous towards the end and didn't really leave me satisfied, but then again, maybe that's the point, maybe that's the joke. How I feel about this movie is similar to how I felt about Barbarian when that movie came out, and you know, these movies are fine. All right, let's get to spoilers. In case you missed that little intermission there, this is now spoiler discussion. I won't take too much of your time here. I just want to talk about the things that just didn't work for me. Why don't the robots know that they're robots? It just doesn't make sense for these robots to not know that they're robots. I mean, why not just have it within their program already to know that they're robots? Isn't it more of a terrifying oversight to not consider the possibility that if these robots were to discover that their lives were all fake, that they would potentially create like a AI uprising and want to take control of their lives? You're probably saying that I'm thinking too much into it, but come on, seriously, I mean, really think about this concept, because this movie's trying really hard to convince us as audiences that this is a real thing, a real possibility that can happen IRL within this universe. Yeah, the movie isn't exactly trying to convince us that this is a potential threat to exist in the real world, but the plot itself, the concept, is pretty believable. Making androids by design not know that they're androids is such a ridiculous oversight that makes no sense for the movie whatsoever and would not have impacted the story at all if they just knew that they are robots. They're robots. You know, the more I think about it, the more it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure at some point these robots will just figure it out. It'll just click into their brains that, yeah, they're robots. They'll know. They'll figure it out. Not by piecing things together, but by exploring their bodies and maybe the fact that they could potentially run into another model of themselves. I mean, the movie reveals to us that Patrick figures it out, so I'm pretty sure all the other ones are figuring it out. The ending of this movie is ridiculous. The two tech guys that come by to take Sophie Thatcher's android body, explaining to Jack Quaid that the memory core is actually in the stomach, which might be a metaphor for abortion or babies, whatever. But seriously, why do these guys feel the need to tell Jack Quaid that the memories, the SSD and stuff are all placed inside the stomach? Why tell him at all? When they get into the truck and reveal to us, the audience, that they knew that he's lying and that he definitely just modded his iris. I mean, come on. Why tell him at all that the memory's down there? I guess maybe to mess with him, but whatever, man. It's just so stupid. The scariest scene featuring Iris is when she was in the dark, just changing her voice all over the place. That was pretty freaky. But when she revealed to us that she has free will thanks to the one tech guy that she saved, I just sort of like, what? The movie just sort of lost me. I don't know, man. I guess I'm just getting kind of exhausted of the whole people see us as real people too. It's just sort of an exhausting conversation that's been had with every single movie that involves androids, replicants, synths. And instead of just killing her, Jack Quaid wants to play with this food and make her beg for him, make her confess her love to him. And if you've seen enough horror movies, we all knew right from the start that someone was gonna use that corkscrew tool to kill someone. It was pretty badass though. But come on, Jack Quaid, you could have just killed her. Why waste the time? But I guess it fits your character to be this egotistical little prick. The concept of this movie overall is really the most horrifying part. The fact that someone would use an android to kill someone in order to take their money. I can see that happening in real life whenever we get those sex bots, you know what I'm saying? When the character Kat, portrayed by Megan Suri, brings up the concept of women being replaced by androids, it really does spark up an interesting conversation that is definitely gonna be happening IRL. I love the exploration of AI, replicants, bots, synthetics, whatever you want to call them. Are they real people? Should they have human rights? Should we determine them as like a new species that we've created? Topics that don't really belong in this movie, but I don't mind them being hinted at. But when it's just randomly shoehorned in like it was by the ending of this movie when Iris confronts Jack Quaid, It was just sort of like, huh? And, alright. Alright, that's enough of me. I'll catch you guys next time.